In this video, I'm gonna read 5 books in 5 days because I'm in the mood to just read and rot. In order to succeed at reading 5 books in 5 days, I came up with a 4-part strategy. Alright, first up, I'm going to read shortish books, and by that I mean they have to be under 400 pages. This may seem like common sense, but it is crucial for the success at this challenge. Second, we have 3 romance books and 2 fantasy books. Now this is here because I will get bored if I just keep reading the same genre over and over again. Switching up the genre will keep me entertained, which is once again crucial to my success at this challenge. Number 3, we have start and end with the books I'm most excited to read. My thinking for this is I need a strong start to the week or else I'm going to be like, oh wow, that sucked, now I'm not motivated anymore. And I need to end with a book I'm excited to read because then I have something to look forward to. If I'm having a bad day and I'm like, oh, this kind of sucks, and I can just think, oh, just push through because eventually you will get to this book that you've been dying to read. Last but certainly not least, I'm going to read the shortest book on the day I actually have plans. Now this is also common sense, but when planning the order I want to read these books, I need to pick out the shortest book for the day I have pickleball plans. The last time we played pickleball, we ended up playing basketball afterwards, and then football, and then we got snow cones, and then we got fast food, and then we ended up hanging out more. I need to be very efficient on pickleball days. If I stick to the plan, I shall succeed. Aaron, get a hold of yourself. I feel like I should mention I'm so happy to be reading this book, not because of what's happening in the book, just because I miss these characters so much. Love them, and I realize they're fictional, but I really don't care. I'm 100 pages into Whatever It Takes by Krista and Becca Ritchie, which is the first book in the Bad Reputation duet, which is a spin-off of the Addicted/Calloway Sisters series. Now, the Addicted series is one of my all-time favorite series, if not my all-time favorite series. You technically don't have to read the Addicted/Calloway Sisters series to read this duet, but I recommend you do. The characters from the Addicted series are in this book, and I think this story is a lot more meaningful if you know the backstory of the other characters. This book is advertised as bad boy, good girl, which I feel like is kind of shallow because this book is actually like really serious and doesn't give off like that rom-com vibe that those tropes make me think of. I mean, the first thing you see when you open this book is a note from the authors and a content warning, which usually is a good sign that the book you're gonna read is not super happy. Hi, I'm cutting in because Day One Aaron did a terrible job at giving a synopsis for Whatever It Takes. By a terrible job, I mean the synopsis is non-existent. I instead spent like 30 minutes talking about how much I love the Addicted series instead of Whatever It Takes. I am cutting out those 30 minutes because it very much was giving like over-exaggerated Big Brother diary room explanations. I really love Big Brother, but that's not really the vibe I want my YouTube channel to have. Whatever It Takes has dual timelines with Willow and Garrison at 17 going through a lot of like hardships and forming their relationship. Then there's Willow and Garrison at 20 doing long distance because Willow moves to London for school and Garrison has to work in Philly. There are quite a few reasons why Willow needs to be in London and why Garrison needs to stay in Philly. Long distance is already hard, but if you add on like everything else going on in their lives, it just seems so much harder. Whatever It Takes feels like you're being thrown right back into the Addicted series instead of a spin-off of the series. Like if you were to tell me that it wasn't a spin-off and it was actually a part of the series, I would believe you. But you can just start with a Bad Reputation duet if you don't want to read the Addicted series. To sum up everything I said in the 30 minutes you won't be seeing, it's pretty much me just being like, oh my gosh, I love Connor Cobalt. Oh my gosh, Lily and Lo, they're in this too. Blah, blah, blah. I love them so much. I can't think about anything else. They're on my mind 24/7. Do I have a problem? Fictional characters should not be affecting me so deeply, but like I think about them all the time, and I was like, yeah, I think you do have a problem. I think that about covers it. I'm gonna send you back to day one, Erin. I'm gonna continue to read and reassess my life choices to try to find out why words on a page affect me so deeply. I need to go touch grass. Oh, is that a spider?
So many questions that I wanna ask, but I can find the reasons why. You always find a small excuse to leave. What's your excuse to make me cry? My love was lost when you came and took it all.
I'm 209 pages into Whatever It Takes, and my brother said it looks like a book a middle schooler would read. This is a special edition. I paid extra for it to look like this. He compared it to Captain Underpants. This is supposed to look like a comic book. Like, comics are a really big part of this world, and he compared it to Captain Underpants. If you are a middle schooler watching this, I recommend you wait to read it until you turn 18. I honestly love this world so much that I don't think I can objectively look at this book as something separate from the Addicted series. Like, I feel like this rating will tie in very closely to how I rated the Addicted series, and it kind of reminds me of what I felt when reading Hot House Flower, because I finished the book and I was like, oh, 5 stars, but then I took a step back and was like, is this book 5 stars or is this series 5 stars? Can I separate the two? Which I don't want to discredit anything I say about this duet in the future, but keep in mind that I love the Addicted series with all my heart. So far, day one has been so easy because this is a shorter book with characters I already know and love, and I fear that day 2, 3, and 4, and 5 may be a little harder. It is 10:30 p.m. and I still have over 100 pages left to read, but I honestly think it's doable. I think the 100 pages are gonna fly by, and I better start them now so I can like get up early tomorrow and read.
Don't go, just leave, no stay with me. I'm incomplete. I got mixed emotions, can't make my mind up. Just leave, no stay with me. I'm incomplete. I got mixed emotions, can't make my mind up. How can I love you when you're not around? How can I let you let me down, down, down? How can I long for you feeling so small? Love should be everything or not at all. My love was lost when you came and took it all.
So I finished Whatever It Takes, and I was kind of scared that like my rating would be a little biased due to my opinions on another little series by these twins. But I did come to the realization that I did rate 3 books in that series 4 stars, and I liked this book more. I think this is a solid 5-star read, and I'm not going to pretend like it wasn't perfection in a book, because I think it was, honestly. When I finished this book, I kid you not, I was speechless, and I just wanted to like lay down and stare at my ceiling for hours on end. But my ceiling is covered in pictures of One Direction. But moral of the story is, this book rendered me speechless, and usually books give me the opposite effect. This book is very predictable. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's not, because it is. But having a hunch that something's going to happen versus actually reading it is like kind of different, and I think that's why I still am like, oh, 5 stars, 5 stars. I really need to move on with my life and stop circling back to this series, so I'm going to read Call It What You Want by Alissa Derogatis. I believe this is the shortest book on my physical TBR, so it's going to be today's read because I'm playing pickleball later, so I need a shorter book. Honestly, I haven't really seen too many people talk about this book. I just think the cover is like so cute, so gonna read it. I completely zoned out, and then when I zoned back in, I was shocked by the statement I read. I think this is the 4th or 5th time she's mentioned Taylor Swift. I don't know why she just keeps name dropping her, but it feels a little excessive. halfway through the book at page 117. I just made it to part 2. Honestly, I don't really like this book, but I'm curious to see how it ends. I don't want to sound mean or be too harsh, but I did make a list in my phone of all the reasons I don't like this book. And I said the conversations are dry, the characters are kind of like one-dimensional, they're very shallow. And I feel like there's certain points where like you can tell that she tried to add dimension to the characters, but it falls flat. The book feels very rushed. She's definitely like a teller over a shower, and you know, we were always taught in school, show, don't tell. But I'm being told a lot. This book also feels very dated, and I know part of it takes place in like 2016, but like I feel like we could have made it a little more timeless. Like she mentions a playlist with the top hits and Closer by Chainsmokers is playing. I don't know, I feel like we could have chosen something a little more timeless than that. Also, the description of 2016 fashion, it's a little painful to read now, okay? It's a little bit painful. I don't think all of the ideas in this book are bad, I just don't think they're being executed very well. Basically, this is about a couple who never dated. So it says this is a love letter to all the girls who have a hard time getting over someone they never dated. It's like when you're with someone, but they don't want to put a title on it. It says their story is a bittersweet tale of love and self-discovery that explores the complexities of relationships and the challenges of moving on. The main character, Ethan, pretty much just keeps telling Sloane that he doesn't want to date her, but she's gonna fall in love with him anyway. It's a book about a situationship, and I feel like that can be done really well, and that can be like a very interesting concept. I wouldn't say this is my least favorite book that I've read of all time, but it's definitely not up there as one of my favorites. I might as well finish this book though, because it is so short and I'm getting through it like pretty quickly. I finished this book before sunset. That's pretty impressive, not gonna lie. Aaron from the future cutting in. I already did it once. I might as well do it twice. I didn't like what I said about call it what you want. I actually like how the book ended, but I thought everything else about the book wasn't my favorite. I didn't really like the writing, and I didn't think the story was all that entertaining. I probably would have DNF'd the book if I wasn't doing a book a day and if it weren't so short. I don't want to keep taking digs at the author because she obviously worked like very hard on this book, but I think the overarching idea of the book is good, and I think if someone else wrote it and added more depth to the characters, I would like it more. I did read the indie version, but it was picked up by a publisher. I don't know if like any changes were made to it, but like, I don't know. I feel like an editor could have helped. Obviously people liked the book and it was getting a little bit of attention because it was picked up by a publisher, but it just wasn't for me. Anyway, I started day 3 thinking Spells for Forgetting was a fantasy book, so I picked it up.
I know sometimes life can be tough, and you feel like you just had enough. When you're thinking everything is gone wrong, just remember that I'm here to cheer you on. Yeah.
It is 4:30 p.m. and I've only read 84 pages of this book, which is kind of concerning. My mom is gonna get home at any minute, and you know what I'm gonna do when she gets home? I'm gonna hang out with her. I'm not gonna read. I never do. Whenever she's home, I'm downstairs with her and we're hanging out because I have a cool mom. There's like no way I can finish this book tonight. I don't foresee it happening. Not because it's bad, because I don't think it's bad. I just was so distracted today that I wasted all my time. Don't worry though, I think I found another book that I should be able to finish today. And I will tell you about that book in a minute, but I do want to talk about this first because I do kind of like it. I found it by searching up fantasy standalone book recommendations on TikTok, and this popped up. This is not a fantasy book. I don't know why it is marketed as one. It's not. If you look up the genre of this book, the first thing that pops up is fantasy, but it is not a fantasy book. Like, don't be fooled. It's like a small town mystery with like a hint of magical realism, but it's very much giving like Forks, Washington, you know, from like Twilight, but without the vampires and werewolves. It just has like that gloomy vibe to it. They live on the island of Sersha, which is magical, but like there hasn't been any magic so far. And I'm really confused why they call it like this magical island when like nothing has happened. Like it just seems like a regular island where the people are like, this small town's not like the others. Like, I don't really get it. The premise of the book is Emery's best friend is murdered and everybody thinks Emery's boyfriend is the one that did it. No one can prove that he did it, so it's like an unsolved case, so he moves away for like 14 years, but then his mom dies, so he comes back to the island to bury her. Now, due to the fact I don't think I can finish this book today, I'm going to start Heartstopper because this book is 263 pages long, and there are several pages with... I thought I saw something that I did not see. Okay. There are several pages with like no words on it. But people love Heartstopper. I just want to understand why so many people love Heartstopper. I did watch season 1 of the show because I had friends that were absolutely obsessed, and I kind of felt like indifferent towards it. I didn't think it was great, but I didn't hate it. And I was hoping if I read the book, I'll be obsessed. Hi! I won't be able to finish this book today because I like hanging out with you when you're home. We're also eating out for dinner, so I definitely cannot finish this book. There's pictures!
Slacker. You've had all day.
I know.
You haven't even been reading. What have you been doing?
I've been watching videos of Big Brother. I had absolutely no intention of reading this book in this video, but I'm desperate to finish a book.
I can still remember the first time that we kissed, feeling light as a feather. I always wanna feel like this, but at some point we messed up, right, sugar?
I'm already over 100 pages in.
No one wants to start, and this time goes by.
I'm gonna keep going,
I
though.
wonder,
Is he?
can we reverse the fall? Can we go back to
I'm already this far into it. This book is such an easy read, which like obviously it's mostly pictures, but I'm flying through it actually quicker than I thought I would.
I don't wanna be just another memory. I don't wanna forget, no. And I don't wanna do what's wrong.
I have those shoes.
Yeah.
So I finished Heartstopper in like just under an hour, which I thought it would take me longer than that to read, but it was cute. Not that much happens in Heartstopper Volume 1. It just says, shy and soft-hearted Charlie Springs sits next to rugby player Nick Nelson in class one morning. A warm and intimate friendship follows, and that soon develops into something more for Charlie, who doesn't think he has a chance. But Nick is struggling with feelings of his own, and as the two grow closer and take on the ups and downs of high school, they come to understand the surprising and delightful ways in which love works. I mean, it's cute, and I might as well like continue with the series because it is so short, but I don't have any of the other books. I don't really have too much more to say because it is so short, but I think I'm gonna rate it like 4 stars because, I mean, I liked it. It's cute, fluffy stuff. Not all of it. It's not all cute and fluffy, but like, the majority of it is. It's a quick read that can put a smile on your face. Even though I did finish a book today, it feels like cheating because it is a graphic novel, but this is my channel, I make the rules, so I say it's not cheating. This book came in clutch. I definitely would not be able to finish Spells for Forgetting tonight, and I'll have to pick it up another time because I really do want to read like a full book each day. Spells for Forgetting wasn't even the longest book I have planned for this video, so hopefully these next 2 books and days will go by quick. I don't know. Hopefully, no. I don't want the day to go by quick, I want the book to go by quick. Okay. See ya tomorrow! Okay, gang, I'm on part 2 of This Summer Will Be Different, which is around like 80 pages into the book. This book kind of gives like generic summer second chance romance, dating best friend's brother romance. 2 timelines, dual timelines, yeah. This is my first time reading this book, but I feel like I know exactly what's gonna happen, which isn't always bad. I'm starting to like second guess things that I've read, and I think all the like summery romance books are starting to like bleed together. In the past, every summer Lucy would visit her best friend's hometown, which is on an island. Her best friend Bridget set up some rules, and one of the rules was you cannot fall in love with my younger brother. In a shocking turn of events, Lucy spent the night with her brother the day before without knowing it was her brother. Present day, the three are in the house together. Bridget is having some sort of break. No one really knows what's going on with her, but she's like, you need to be here with me. Like, come be with her. Come be here with me this summer. And the brother and Lucy are there, and they're like, no, we're not a thing. We've never been a thing. We're just friends. They're acting a little shady, you know. They're not very nonchalant. Did you know chalant is not a word? Nonchalant is a word, but chalant is not. I don't think it is. Anyway, this book just kind of gives off the vibe of just like a generic adult summer romance. It's kind of similar to her other books, which isn't necessarily bad. This book has been like a quick and easy read so far, so obviously I'm going to keep going. I would actually be shocked if I was unable to finish this book by the end of the day, but I better keep reading so I don't disappoint myself for like the second day in a row. I didn't disappoint myself yesterday, but in my heart, I feel like I cheated a little bit. I'm going to keep reading The Summer Will Be Different, and I'll let you know if you should read it before the summer ends. Okay, bye! What?
Look at the sky. It's like orange.
Yay!
Thinking about what we've been through. The world can be a lonely place. Baby, I'm so glad that I found you. Now I got someone to embrace. From the day you stole my heart, I never ever want to be apart. Don't you think?
She's the type who will get what she wants, doesn't hide. Always out in the sun, and it kills me slowly. Seeing her pass me by in the city of dreams.
We finally made it to day 5, and I finished This Summer Will Be Different, and I'm over 100 pages into Reckless. I'm rating This Summer Will Be Different 3 stars because honestly, I just thought this book was kind of boring. Well, I didn't think this book was bad. I thought everything was like a little bit bland. For the most part, I like the story, and I think the characters had their moments where they were charming, but I feel indifferent towards the book as a whole. I think it's just kind of, it's there. Moving on to a book that is more entertaining, I am 16 chapters into Reckless by Lauren Roberts. This is the second book to the YA fantasy hit sensation Powerless. Powerless takes place in the kingdom of Ilia, where it is illegal to not have powers. If the government finds out you don't have powers, it's not looking good for ya. Our main character, Peyton, is powerless, but she pretends to have psychic powers. Peyton finds herself in the Purging Trials, which is a deadly competition that showcases the elite's powers. But she doesn't have any. This book also has like rivals to lovers romance in here. It's a very entertaining book, and I'm so happy Reckless is finally out. I've been eating up the first 100 pages. The atmosphere, the tension, all of it is so yummy. I've been loving it so far, so I can't wait to see what else this book has in store.
Who's that girl? She walks around like she could rule the world. She goes for everything that she deserves. Say, what would it take for me to be like her?
I read a very similar scene of this on Wattpad. Ooh, just got transported back to high school. Never seen that happen in like an actual published book before.
Just anybody tell me who's that? Who's that? Who's that? In her eyes, there's a sense of belief. I just cry at my pity party, and I'm getting
pages into Reckless, and the book is starting to stretch. It's starting to feel a little long. There's been a lot of the same thing happening over the past couple hundred pages, and I'm like ready for like a change of pace, ready for something new. I have been enjoying this book. I like all the banter and the tension and like the action going on, but at the same time it is like really starting to drag along. There's been some grammar and editing errors in this book, which it's just like a little bit annoying when reading a book. When I notice the wrong word being used or lack of quotation marks or something, I'm just like, oh, okay. But I did see people say that that's only in the Barnes & Noble edition, and if I had gotten like the regular edition, it wouldn't have had the grammar mistakes. I guess this went to print before the standard edition, which is fine, I guess. Anyway, it's the home stretch of this challenge. It's 8 o'clock and I only have like 70 pages left, so it's like totally doable. Reckless, and I ended up rating it 4 stars because I was so entertained while reading it. And then I saw people were rating it lower on Goodreads, but that's not going to deter me. Like, I know they weren't having a good time, but I had a good time. But while I was reading some of the reviews, I feel like they did have some good points. This had a lot of the same thing happening over and over again. I didn't really find it boring, but I can acknowledge that I think Powerless is better than Reckless. I feel like day 5 ended up not being that hard, even though this was the longest book in the video. It's YA fantasy, so the writing is like fairly easy to read. Then it's the second book in a series, so like there's momentum already. So it almost just felt like I would have read this in one day, regardless of whether I was making this video or not. This book just made for an easy day 5. Anyway, I hope you liked this video. If you would like, comment, subscribe, I would very much appreciate it. I will see you at some point or another. Bye!